Imagine a future where love, technology, and survival collide, and the only thing left connecting us is bandwidth. That is a topic for today's podcast. This is episode 328 of the Social Engineer Podcast, the Human Element Series. I'm Chris Hadnaghi, CEO and founder of Social Engineer LLC, the Innocent Lives Foundation, and the Institute for Social Engineering. And this podcast has been around since 2009. I want to talk about our sponsor, which of course is Social Engineer, but I have a really cool thing that we started. We have a mastermind group now that you can join and become part of secret special learning. We're going to have courses in there. We have our whole team interacting, making videos. This content will never be made public. And we're using it for really any genre, any sector you're in. We have people in there from all types of jobs in different parts of the world. If you want more information on it, social-engineer.com. You can get the description and you can look at the professional services menu and find out more there. I also want to invite everyone to join the Slack channel. You can see the link in the show notes below. We have a social engineering chat in there. So that's something that we feel really good about. And you can join that if you'd like. And I want to take a minute to invite everyone to go to innocentlivesfoundation.org. If you're not familiar with the nonprofit, we started that 8 years ago, and our mission is to work with law enforcement to geolocate people who traffic children and create child abuse material. And I'm really proud to say we're up to 585 cases now, and it may be even more when this podcast comes out. Our mission is critical to helping law enforcement, finding these people all over the globe, not just here in the U.S. If you can support us, please go to innocentlivesfoundation.org and make a donation. If you're a parent or a caregiver and you're looking for information, how to keep your kids safe or how to even talk to them about these dangers, we have a lot of educational content on there. So go visit that website. And last but not least, the music, if you like it, it's none other than Clutch. We love that band. I've been listening to them since I was 17. And as you may know, the lead singer, Neil, helped me start ILF 8 years ago. So we're especially fond. Go hit clutchmerch.com and give them some love. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up, a heart, a like, whatever it is. That helps us spread the message. And you can pass this on to other people and also helps us to get into more listeners. So without further ado, let's get to the reason we're here. I have a really amazing guest. We're joined by Tanya Van Cott. She's a New York-based architect. Right? I want you to remember that. Architect. That's what she does for a living. Industrial designer and educator whose work explores how design and storytelling can drive social change. She graduated from Pratt Institute and has been recognized by the National Endowment for Arts with a Presidential Design Achievement Award and has been published for her innovative approach to interdisciplinary design. Before launching her own practice and press, WomanBecool PRESS, she honed her skills at world-renowned studios Pentagram and Lippincott. Through both design and the written word, Tanya examines how disruptive technologies shape our lives, often through the eyes of powerful female protagonists. Tanya, it is awesome to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
I start off with this question on this series always. How did you get to where you are today? Like, did you just wake up one day, I'm going to be an architect, and then start writing books? Like, what was the transition to this spot?
Architecture started when I was 15 with an elective course in high school, a mechanical drawing class. And I had a teacher who turned a 2-year elective for a lot of us into a 4-year prep for design school. And he launched a lot of us into design programs and helped us build a portfolio. So I started really early, 15. I had no one in construction, no one in architecture in my world. And I think I just woke up one morning and said, I have to take this class.
Wow. That's a really cool origin story. So then how did you go from architect to now saying, I want to use some of this, the way I see the world, and start writing stories?
I was substantially on my path. And I had recently become licensed. I finally was licensed in my middle 30s. I started my own firm, and we hit the housing crisis in 2008. And it was like a weird, hard stop for a lot of people. And if you had a small architectural firm, it was just dead in the water. And at that moment, I guess the writing for me at that moment was a primal scream more than what I discovered, what I actually write about. And I pivoted in order to survive, like to help my soul survive, because I realized architecture, you can't create an architecture without a paying client.
Yeah.
And I had this like true fantasy of being a painter. And I'm not a painter, but I said, I wish I could just go into a room and be creative, alone, without anybody looking over my shoulder, without waiting for someone to approve the building department to say it was okay. And that's when I started writing, not with the intention of novels. My first book turned into a novel, I would say within 2 years, but it was writing, tears, writing, a lot of very complicated emotions. I had recently woken up from the deep sleep of early motherhood. I had 2 children at the time, and one was 8 and the other one was 4. So I had finally started sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
So I felt like a lot of strange things happened at the same moment.
When was your first book out?
Well, this is my first published book after 17 years.
This one we're going to talk about today. Okay.
Yep, that's it. I have a backlog of books. This is my 3rd novel. I've already written a screenplay, and I have some other shorter bodies of work. But this is my first published one. So you're
okay. Well, congratulations on that.
But I've been honing this. I think I did my, what is it? Is it at 10,000 hours?
Yeah.
Isn't it 10,000 hours to fly a plane?
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I've substantially put in my time.
Yes, you have. You have. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Okay. Well, let's talk about this then. Let's talk about your book. Tell us first of all, the title.
The title is Bandwidth.
So we kind of hinted at that. And give us the premise about what this book is about.
The book is a near future look at 3 disruptive technologies, unlikely technologies that I collide together it's loosely based on the Sarah and Abraham story. The monotheistic Sarah and Abraham story, but it is a collision of where we're headed. And I very much write in order to educate, because my writing is not just pure fiction. I do a lot of research on these existing technologies that most people don't know a lot about. Mm-hmm. And I weave fact into the fiction, into a very human, emotional story that allows the reader to digest fact and walk away from a story with more knowledge than they would have curiosity to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's talk a little bit about some of this technology, because I think, for me at least, this is what I think. When COVID happened, we kind of lost a lot of our ability to communicate kindly. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Politely, empathetically. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's coming back. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was such a strange time. We became terrified of each other.
Yeah.
For the first time. We stayed in these little, very safe bubbles. Our family, our immediate family, even extended family became unsafe somehow, and which has only been amplified now with the politics. Extended family sometimes has even fallen away, stayed away because of politics. So I think your work has really impacted me, because it looks at this human aspect of communication. And I know that that's what I tackle, even though I look at all these technologies. I do wrap these stories around very human, empathetic, emotional moments that are human. They're not, even though I'm talking about technology around these stories, the story itself is like all of the stories I write are very, very human. Do I think it's coming back? I'm not sure.
Yeah. And I agree with your statement. And it's kind of weird for me watching the world and seeing how every little thing has become political. Everything. Like there's not a thing that you can say on any social media that someone won't turn into a left or a right statement. And it's a strange time, right? I mean, I grew up in a world where you can disagree with people and not hate you, but you can't do that anymore.
And you were allowed to have opinions. And that's what made a community very rich, is being able to sit at a tea party with your neighbor and everybody has different opinions and you walked away richer for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
right.
now people are just terrified to communicate with one another, almost to the level that they were terrified to breathe each other's air 5 years ago.
You think this is linked to a lack of empathy, or how do you think empathy plays into this?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, you talk a lot about building rapport and common ground with other humans as a way to connect. I think that the social media, and especially right now with AI, and I don't know if you've been watching some of the more intense future, what are they called? Fakes.
Oh, the deep fakes? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're already so well done. And we're literally at the very, very beginning of this. I mean, generative AI came on the scene in 2023. So we are only 2 years into what AI can do. And I've already seen things that are so convincing that what AI may do for social media is completely destroy it. Because none of us will believe anything that we see anymore.
That would not make me sad.
No, I think it might be it might be a very strange, like we think like, oh, everybody's going to be on their computer, but there may be a moment, I would say within the next 3 or 4 years, where 90% of us just turn it off.
Yeah, I would not be sad with that, because like almost you have to destroy something to rebuild it better. And for me, at least, social media has turned into just like a cesspool. I mean, Twitter's the worst at now. It just turned into utter garbage.
I mean, who even is still? Are you still on Twitter? Who's even there? I left it. But, I left like 6 months ago. I don't know what it. Maybe it was. It collided with Mr. Elon. Tap dancing around the new White House. Whatever, but I'm not sure. There was a lot of odd anger on Twitter, and which I think a lot of those people that weren't angry, that wanted to connect, I think they've all moved to LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, because I would agree.
There's some interesting conversations that are happening in LinkedIn. There's some interesting human connections that are being made in LinkedIn that weren't being made in Twitter ever.
Yeah. And the problem with the LinkedIn is the amount of AI bots that are there acting like humans that are just scraping for data. And that's the hard part, because it's impossible. And I'm not blaming LinkedIn. It's impossible to control. Like you were saying, I saw a deep fake the other day that the only reason I knew it was a deep fake was because it said it on the social media platform that this is AI generated. If that little thing wasn't there, and it was something stupid, some guy getting kicked out of an all-you-can-eat restaurant because he ate too much. So it was something stupid. It wasn't anything political, but it looked so real. And the movements and the flesh, the mouth, everything looked so real that if it didn't say this is generated by AI, I would have been like, wow, that's pretty crappy. They kicked that guy out. It was. Have you seen really scary.
The babies talking?
Oh, that's so great.
I know.
The babies and the dogs. You see the dogs?
I know.
The two dogs,
or the animals. That
makes me sad. I crack up laughing every time I see that.
So I do think what I think about all the AI generated deep fake, whatever videos that are happening now online, we will see it as like another streaming platform where we just go to it to be entertained.
Right.
I mean, remember all those shows where the skateboarder, they would show the tricks, the crashes, where we all felt physical pain when we saw them, because we knew they were real humans. I'm curious if we watched deep fakes that did that and we knew it was not real. if we would feel the same physical pain?
That's a great question. Yeah. And that's what's scary about that is that can retrain our empathy, right? That kind of like playing a video game. I remember the first time as a kid that a video game came out that you can shoot a person, and it was like, oh, like it was scary. Like I got nervous. Like I just actually shot another human, and it was so fake. It was like, because it didn't. Nowadays, it's like you're shooting real people in the head on these games, and
the blood splatter and
right. I read a review. I don't play video games, but I read a review from a gamer about this. I won't say the name, but it's a military war game, and you can play either as a soldier or as the terrorist. Mm-hmm. And this particular reviewer played as a terrorist, and his review was a bad review because when he shot this child in the head, it took too long to die. And I was like,
child?
Yeah. And I was like, what the heck? You can play a game where you can shoot a child.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I mean, you and I have raised children in the last decade or two.
Yeah.
I have had a son who has played those video games.
Yeah, me too.
And I actually sat beside him. I'd made it a point to sort of be part of it, to understand it. What I realized more than anything is the game itself acted as a telephone. It was a way for them to connect with their friends, because for some reason we stopped playing outside. And so I felt very strongly about not limiting it, because I felt like it was their social connection.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I just wonder how all of this kind of stuff affects the ability for people to feel empathy, right? If I'm going to social media for content where I know that these people getting hurt aren't people, that they're just bots, and I don't have that reaction like, ooh, anymore, does that mean that when I see it out in the real world, somebody falls and cracks their head or something, am I not going to be like grossed out by it?
Yeah.
I kind of think about like the first
a lot of your career examining empathy. I've spent most of my life actually being like a super empathy, like wearing it on my sleeve, people pleaser, kind of like damaged girl stuff. But I'm not sure imagery does the damage when it comes to empathy. Mm-hmm. I think parenting does.
Well, there's a lot to be said. There was a study done, oh boy, this was maybe in the 90s, that talked about mothers to toddlers and infants that get Botox in their face, that they found that children were raised with less ability to feel empathy.
Because the facial expressions, like
you
all
couldn't
that.
make the face. Yeah. So when you're breastfeeding and now you're looking at the baby and you have no expression, the baby's learning by your nonverbals, because I think it was Dr. Joseph Campos who did the study that found by the age of 8 to 12 months, they're communicating fully by nonverbals because they can't speak yet. So that facial expression while you're looking down at your child is vital to him or her to learn what proper emotion is. So I've always been fascinated by that, but it also scares me because of the world we live in right now,
Yeah. But I do think, at the end of the day, humans, we're designed to connect with other humans.
Yeah.
And that first connection is the parent-child bond. And I don't think there is any amount of videos that you could consume that would remove empathy that began in infancy.
Yeah. Well, parents have a very vital role.
I think, right. And I think we also can damage children, and we need to understand that it's our job.
So what role does empathy play in your book?
It's, I would say that it's core to my protagonist. Her name is Sarah, and she has kidnapped an orphan from New York in order to protect it. We could see her act as being incredibly selfish, or we can view it as incredibly empathetic. And I think that what we see evolve throughout the book is an ongoing attempt between the many different characters that are occurring on the page, is empathy in action.
Have you ever heard of the AI bot called Sesame?
No.
Okay.
Should I write it down?
Sesame.com.
I'll get my pencil.
Yeah, Sesame.com. It's interesting because I want your opinion on this. They have put an empathy engine over a voice AI bot. So it sounds like it cares about you. It has emotional inflection in its voice.
Intonation.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It could, if you say something sad, it lowers its tone. Oh. If you ask for something happy, it gets higher. Oh, it flirts with you. It's a really scary thing. Now, do you think that AI will ever be able to develop actual empathy?
Actually, I was looking at your work a little bit. I mean, I've actually read your books, but I re-listened to something and I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you think, I'm reading my question. Do you think books like yours will help AI behave like humans?
Well, that's a very interesting question because as we speak, we are working on training LLM with my 20 years of work to
but
create.
Is that good or bad?
Well,
I mean, a lot of your writing looks at the bad actor part of the human. So if we basically say, and this is something that I do mention in the book. I don't pit myself against AI. It's the bad actor in the human behind the machine that is making it be acting positively or negatively. And one of the reasons why AI is so questionable is because it's been feeding off of our highly negative, racist content. It's been eating it. So it spits back what it's been reading and seeing. And it's violent because we are violent. Humans are violent. It's opinionated and racist because we are, which is awful.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I'm very curious because your books talk so much about what it is to be human and how to build rapport and how to connect with someone by saying the right thing and by not being like approaching a group and seeing that the group is divided, but somehow you can't pick either side. You would teach the machine, like you can't pick either side, but you can say something that's universally true that would bring everybody together.
I'll tell you my reasoning. Have you heard the story about this group of scientists that had this massive data set for, I think it was a cancer drug or something, and they fed it into an LLM for it to analyze because they wanted to get some help in improving this drug. And what the LLM did is it found a brand new molecule. It found something that the scientists weren't looking for because AI's superpower is the way it can crunch data so fast, right? It's like unbelievable. You could take like a PDF that has 200 pages, put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, summarize this, and it will do it in under a minute. Like that's unbelievable to me, right? So my thinking was right now, our industry, well, not the industry I'm in, it's reactive, not proactive. And what that means is that I can't tell you what the threat actors are going to do tomorrow, next month, next week, next year. I only wait for them to do the bad thing. And then I say, okay, here's how we can fix it. Here's how we fight it. But what if AI can crunch knowledge of my work, threat actor work, and say, here's what they're going to do next. And we can actually stop it before they do it. What if it can find that new molecule?
That would be very cool.
Now, here's the other thing, though, to your point. What I feel is that when you do create something like that, it cannot be publicly facing. It cannot.
No, I don't think so.
It cannot.
No.
Like training. We're training vishing bots, AI to do vishing for us, voice phishing for our clients. That will not be made public. We're not going to we show it to people. We're not going to sell that as anyone can use it and get the code, right? That's not going to happen because if I use my data to train it, it's going to be the best visher in the world. right? I have a young woman here that has done 27,000 phishing calls. If I use that data to train this bot, no one's going to be able to stop it. So I can't let that go public. That can't be out there into the wild.
But who are you trusting with it? I mean, the U.S. government. I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
there's this very strange moment. We're having a very like, who do we trust?
It would have to be my company, and that's it. Like, if you want the service, I and my people will use it for you, but you don't ever get it. You don't ever get this packaged up, right? Because it's too scary. And it really is, right? So what I think happens a lot of times, like if you remember, go back, way back, when they first released the first version, I don't know if it was ChatGPT, I think it was Google's thing. And within 8 hours, it was a racist, homophobic, misogynistic, horrible thing. And they had to pull it off the internet. And, all the science geeks went back analyzing, why did this happen? Well, why? Because the only thing training that bot was young white men. That was it, right?
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, maybe we should have some women train this.
Let's lay off the young white men for a minute. I would like to say, and this is, I truly believe this, racism is a human thing. Yeah. And it's not a white young man thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying, but it was
sometimes even within a culture, they are racist among one another.
Oh, yeah.
For example, like in India, they have different castes. There's different shades of brown. The browner you are, the worse you are. I mean, so there's so much race. I don't know. There's this funny thing that my son is 24, and he a few years ago, he says, I think we're the alien on the planet, and the planet is trying to get rid of us. Like, we're the parasite.
We're the virus.
We are the virus.
Yeah.
And the planet will still be here. I mean, unfortunately, it'll have plastic in the oceans, and it will have plastic in the air, and it will have all the things that I wrote about in that book. Yeah. But we may not be here. The creatures will be here. The ants will be here. We will not.
Well, the Earth has an amazing ability to correct itself when it's given time. Like, we saw that in COVID, the Venice, Italy, those canals had dolphins in them again. It was clear after a month, a month of no boat pollution.
Just because no tourism.
Yeah. Because the Earth really is made to cleanse itself and but we just have to give it a chance to do it. Right. I mean, I live in Orlando, and I swear there can't be a 15 square meter space without them building something on it. If there's an empty spot, no, we got to build something. And there's a new high rise or something going. It's nonstop construction, right? The Earth doesn't have time.
And as an architect, I've coined a term, by the way. Shh.
Okay.
It's called foam-tastic.
Foam-tastic?
Foam. You've seen it, by the way. You go to the mall or the strip mall, and they're basically taking existing buildings and they're sticking foam on it, and then they put this stucco stuff on it, and then they paint it, and they are able to form it and make it like have decorative. It's sort of like Disney architecture. Yeah. And yeah. I've coined that term. It's called foam-tastic.
Foam-tastic.
And it destroys buildings. I've seen them do it to brick buildings, which brick as a cladding on the outside of a building needs to breathe. It gets wet, it has moisture, and it gets water sometimes behind it, and it's designed to breathe. But you stick foam on top of it, and you make it look like a stucco building. That building's not breathing anymore.
Interesting.
Foam-tastic.
Fantastic. Okay.
From your New York architect.
Yeah, there you are.
From my mouth to your ears. I'm going to go out there in the world after this podcast, and everybody's going to be like, that's a foam-tastic building.
Yeah. Okay. I got a couple questions I always ask on this series. We've been asking this since 2009. I know for me, I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for just a few people that mentored me and helped me and really had faith in me. Have you had any mentors in your life that you would consider helped you get to where you are today?
A few. Yeah. I mean, that first teacher, I would say profound.
Yeah. His name is
Dr. Gordon Campbell. And I think he's in Florida. I think he's in Naples. So Dr. Gordon Campbell, he was amazing. I'll I reach out to him every few years, but at this point I'm always terrified because I'm getting old.
I understand that.
I know. It's
one
happening.
of my mentors is in his 90s, and I don't want that call to come.
Yeah. And then I had one particular powerful architecture professor, a woman. She was a young woman at the time, probably only 10 years older than me at the time. Her name was Raleigh Perkins. Very powerful. And I would say over the last 30 years, my husband, because he has for every book that I finished and had been banging my head against the wall of public publishing, being rejected, not for the work itself, but for the letter that I would send. It's in publishing. It's called a query letter. It's 2 paragraphs. This is what my story is. This is how many words it is. And I would get rejected endlessly on a letter. They never read the work. And it could drive you into bed in tears for years. But I got better at the rejection thing. I'm pretty good at rejection now. Like, hit on me. I was like, okay. Yeah. I'm actually really good at it. I can probably teach a class on rejection.
That'll be your next book.
There you go.
Professional rejection.
I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about your husband and how he supported you through all of your writing.
This is what he would say. Write another one. And then I would do the same thing and I'd finish it. And then I'd bang on the publishing house's door for a while. And then he was like, oh, just stop it. Write another one. Just write another one. I mean, I'm knee deep in 5 documents at this point, like substantial. And they keep, I mean, it's not like for some reason, I think architecture may have helped me be a writer. They don't seem like they belong together, but they are. Architecture is all about being able to see the whole, understanding the core structure that holds it all together, and having the patience to work out all the details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what I do every day.
That's great.
I see the whole almost instantly. It's odd, very odd that I can do that. The structure somehow comes naturally to me. And then the details that's the exploration and the passionate reading on my part and discovering things, and then waking up at 3:00 in the morning with a sentence.
Yeah.
Write another one.
So, as far as books go, we'll put a link to your book, of course, but, and it doesn't have to be about the topic we spoke about. It could be about anything, but you have 1 or 2 books that you would recommend that anyone listening read?
Anything by Kurt Vonnegut.
Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah. I mean, Cat's Cradle is one of his first books, and not a lot of people know about it. But it's very interesting. It's about water. And my book is, I don't come right out and say it on the first few pages, but the entire book is about water, and there's water in every scene in the book. And Kurt Vonnegut wrote this book about a technology, and it's fiction, but it's about a technology that had the capability to turn water into a solid, not ice, but just a solid. And what happens is that it ends up accidentally getting dropped into a river, but you discover that all the water on the planet is connected. All the liquid water on the planet is connected. So the minute it hit one body of water, all the water on the planet turned into a solid. I thought that was, wow, holy moly.
Yeah.
That was so crazy.
Yeah. Sounds like a cool book.
I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, it's definitely one of his earlier works. He had a brother-in-law who they were doing early seeding of clouds. So they shot some kind of chemical up into clouds to make it rain. And that's where he got the idea. Like, oh, there's a chemical that can make something happen with water. And he wrote it. So I think his science fiction is fascinating. And, that's what I would recommend. He's my favorite.
That's cool. We haven't had that. So that's a brand new recommendation. So we'll put that in the list. And our last question is, if people want to connect with you, if they want to find your book, if they want to just have a conversation, what's the best way for them to do that?
I love LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's my new favorite. It's my new favorite. I mean, I do have a website, and you can write directly to me in the website, the TanyaVanCott.com. But I love LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is cool. I feel like I'm allowed to go to cocktail parties at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think I met you there.
Yes. That's exactly how we met. You reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Well, and we were able, even though it was not through voice or not through, seeing one another, it was using empathy, using communication. And you can tell instantly people who want to talk to you and people who don't. And, you ask for, like, can we connect? Obviously I had read your work. So can we connect? I think you're interesting. Can we connect? And you were very open and you were very interested. And some people aren't. And it's very much like you going to a cocktail party. You go into a room of 100 people and there's going to be 3 people that want to actually talk to you. Yeah. I love it.
My rule with LinkedIn is, if I connect with you and you don't try to sell me something in the first second of talking to you, then I'm more than happy to have a conversation. Right. But it's like, I connect with someone and right away, like, hey, we should meet because I think we have synergy. Like, okay, no, delete, block, Like, I love connecting with people. I love learning about different things. I mean, I've connected with a woman who read one of my books in a Middle Eastern country. And I was like, I want to know all about this. How do you use this in your country? I want to, let's meet, let's talk. Tell me about it. This is amazing. Just getting to have conversations with people about, I don't know, anything. It's just kind of I still like connecting. COVID didn't take that away. I like connecting with people.
Christopher, I don't think that it's ever going to go away. That is what is human.
Yeah.
I have the sun coming in. That's what makes us human. This interest in connecting and sharing ideas.
I agree.
And by the way, if you had been in a cocktail party or anywhere, those people that were trying to sell you something, they're there too.
Yeah.
And you would ignore them.
Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, I got to go.
Yeah, that's okay. And you would go into the kitchen where they were preparing the food and you would discover somebody who was hiding out. That would probably be me. And then you would talk to me and you would be like, wow, I'm so glad I came to this party because there's something very smart happening in the kitchen.
I love that.
It's not any different. I don't think the medium has changed who we are at our core. And I think that one of the reasons, something interesting about creativity is one of the reasons humans like to look at art or read novels or books, even nonfiction, is we are incredibly curious about other humans' minds.
Yeah.
One of the reasons generative AI, the books, the art, it leaves us flat. And I think it'll always leave us flat because our curiosity, like my curiosity about you, like I kind of like, oh, I want to know. He has a daughter. I kind of found that out. Like, oh, now I know that. Now I know that you're in Florida. Like, why is he in Florida? And I'm in New York. Like, why is she in New York?
I'll tell you that offline.
No, but it's like we're curious about the painter when we go into the museum. We're curious when we pick up a novel in the library. We're like, what was this person's life like that they would have written this subject matter?
Yeah. Maybe it's a topic for another podcast together.
Maybe.
But I want to thank you for coming on, talking about your book, talking about all the things we did. We had a lot of
Today
really
was
interesting
launch
conversation.
Day. Did you know that we're doing this on October 8th?
Congratulations.
Today is the global launch of Bandwidth on Amazon, in any country on the planet.
Congratulations. Well, everyone, when you're listening to this, that book has been out a month now. You better go get it. I had the privilege of Tanya letting me read that book and before it was released. And I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this because I actually gave her a quote to put on the book because it was that interesting. So read it. You will not be sad. It's a really, really energizing and entertaining book that gets you thinking. So that was good timing. Thank you for coming to the podcast, Tanya. Don't leave. And thank you all for listening. Next month, we'll be joined by Toby Wright, who's a fitness coach. Till then, stay safe.